The Stridsvagn 74 is one of the most underappreciated Cold War tanks ever made. Its story begins in the early 1950s, when Sweden looked at its World War II era tanks and basically said, yeah, we can't fight the Soviets with that. But instead of designing a brand new tank, Sweden did something way more Swedish. They just upgraded what they already had. Their solution was the SDRV-74, a heavily modernized version of the old Stridsvagn M42, but with a brand new turret, and a gun that turned this little tank into quite the nasty ambusher. Now, the gun in question is a high-velocity 75mm gun, a gun that could punch way above its weight, and then the Swedes also gave it enough elevation to basically shoot at birds, or at least any Soviet aircraft that got too curious. Now, the chassis stayed mostly the same, which meant the tank was light, nimble, and could climb ridiculous Swedish terrain that most tanks would look at and be like, nope. But the real secret behind the Stridsvagn was how cheap and practical it was. It wasn't flashy, on the contrary, it was actually quite ugly, it wasn't heavily armored, and it definitely wasn't winning any Best Tank of the Cold War awards. But it was good at its job. It was fast to deploy, easy to maintain, and armed well enough to ruin someone's day if they decided to underestimate it. And despite being based on a World War II design, the Stridsvagn served all the way into the 1980s, longer than tanks 3 times its size and its price. But to me, the fact that the Swedes took a World War II tank, gave it a new turret, a monster gun, and kept it relevant for decades is insane.